everyone, it's Marie from Papercrafts. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back today with a 12x12 for cut to you. So this one does class as an advertisement. And today I'm using this gorgeous Spring Floral cut file. And what I've done is I've popped it into Cricut Design Studio and I've removed the outer contour lines so that it just cut the inside shapes. It didn't do the outer, so that my image became a negative rather than a cut file that I placed onto a piece of paper. It became part of the piece of paper because I had this lovely idea to place it on top of something and then have little bits and pieces sort of tucking out. I loved the idea of this one as a background cut file. It's so pretty. And then I am and ah about which way around to put it, and in the end I do decide to put the majority of it down in the right hand corner. So what I've done is I've cut it down ever so slightly from a 12x12, and I'm going to place it onto this gorgeous turquoisey coloured paper from, this is the Unforgettable collection from Cocoa Vanilla Studio. That's all I use basically on this layout, apart from possibly a little bit of white cards. The white cardstock is obviously not from there, and I use a few sequins later on as well. So then I decide, so I've kind of wonkied it off on that turquoise, and I want to do the same thing on this gorgeous wood grain paper, but I don't want to waste it all. So I just cut the edges, two of the edges off, put double-sided sticking on as you can see now, and then kind of offset it slightly. So now I've got the whole thing kind of put together is larger than 12x12, so then I just slide it into the trimmer and cut off the excess to bring it back down to being a 12x12 sheet, and there we go. And then I couldn't remember which way around I'd started with it, and then I realised it was that way up. So now I'm taking the papers from the 6x8. I want to say paper pad, but they've stopped doing them as a pad and they've stopped attaching them together now, and they're all just loose sheets, and it's fab because you can sort through them really, really easily. So I'm just picking through other turquoisey colours and black and whites and seeing what I like and deciding on an order of papers, and it's those ones I'm going to go for. So what I start doing is, so my photograph is 3x4, so the first piece I cut 3x4, but 3 and a 16th by 4 and a 16th, and then the next one is 3 and an 8th by 4 and an 8th, and then the next one is, and they just get gradually bigger, so that there's just a little bit more poking out. And I never mat photographs straight anymore. I don't like doing it. I like to mat them a little bit wonky. So I'm matting my photographs, like I say, a little bit wonky there, and then just popping a couple of pieces of double-sided sticking on the back of each one, and then attaching it to the next one down. So I do use, I think I mat it maybe 4 or 5 times, not quite sure. But then I do finish it with that wood grain because I want to tie that edge of wood grain that's around the top and the side there into the matting behind the photo. And I'm already loving the way this looks. And I also love the fact that my jumper matches my layout. That was not planned. It just so happens that my jumper matches my layout, which I think is really cool. The wood grain, by the time I got to the wood grain, I decided I wanted it to stick out a little bit further, so I actually cut it diagonally, the piece of paper that I'd, piece of cardstock that I'd measured, so that it just sticks out a little bit further behind the top left and the bottom right. And here's my basket of all my gorgeous ephemera from the Unforgettable collection. So I'm just going to start sorting through it. Now I knew when I started making this that I wanted it having it like a peekaboo layout, so I wanted bits popping out from behind that cut file. So I've put one big floral cluster, as you can see, down that left hand side, and then I've put a little tab at the right, and then I've started tucking in little hearts behind into the cut files there, and little flowers as well. So I'm literally just sorting through everything I've got. A bit more foliage there to stick in down above that left hand side, and I loved that camera. And I was going to keep this all kind of a bluey colour, but then I decided actually the pink with that turquoisey colour looks absolutely stunning, which is obviously what was thought of when the whole collection was designed. Those two colours work so well together. And because I've gone with a black and white photograph, and because I'm on it, I can get away with lots of pink. So I decided to start sticking pink sort of all over, and it just pops off of the white and that turquoise, and I love it. So yeah, just playing with all my ephemera now and deciding which pieces I want to have in, tucking in another heart. I've tucked in a little tag as well behind the photograph. and I've popped a butterfly on there. There always has to be a butterfly on there. I love the cocoa vanilla butterflies. And then I've got a little tag at the top there, that one with the butterfly on. I just thought that looked stunning just to finish it off at the top. And as you saw, I did play with my title a little bit. I couldn't make my mind up whether I wanted it to be captured or whether I wanted it to be family. And in the end, I decided on family. I was going to have family captured, but then it sounded like we'd been like caught and, I don't know, locked up or something. So I didn't like the idea of that. So I just decided to have the word family. And those black foamy letters just pop, and they kind of tie in with this. There's the centre of some of the flowers are black, the outlines of a couple of the things are black, that camera as well, and it just ties it all in together. I haven't really gone with my visual triangle of 3 clusters on this one, but I have clustered round the photograph and then had different bits and pieces. So I'm just using some Tombow glue to stick down. Just tiny bits of glue is all it needs. I'm experimenting with glue at the moment. I used to use high-tack glue, and the most recent one I've bought has been so watery that it kind of just runs out of the tub on its own, and it's a nightmare. So I'm experimenting now with lots of different glues. So I've got this Tombow one, and I've got a Nouveau one coming as well, which I understand is really good. So I'm just playing with different glues and seeing which ones I like. So yeah, just little bits of glue. I never cover anything in glue. I prefer to just put little bits on so that I can move it around and tuck other things under should I want to. That little flower cluster you've just seen me sit down there, I did use double-sided adhesive foam for that because I wanted a bit of dimension, a bit of depth on that particular part. And again, the same for this tag up here, that's on foam. So just pressing everything down, just making sure my photograph is stuck, because to start with I did only put glue in the centre of it. So I'm just poking the little hole out of that tag now, and I've just gone into my drawer and got some white sewing thread out. And I do start by attaching the whole thickness of 6 strands to it, and it just felt too thick and clunky. The layout feels very delicate, and I wanted the same sort of feeling to that thread, so I decided I would just use 3 of the threads. So I had to separate them all, put them all back together, and then tie them back through. So apologies, I'm just doing that off camera there. And then I kind of loop it round, trying to decide what to do with the rest of the thread. I knew I wanted it on the layout, so then I halve it, and I put a little bow, like a double bow, and then I start swirling it around, and I'm much happier with that. That seems to have a real nice softness to it. And then I pull out my, just a bit more glue there, pull out my enamel dots, I think is the next thing I do. Oh no, I needed to stick the camera down, clearly forgot the camera. Just popping that under that corner there. Here come my enamel dots. And I did the same thing with these. I used a light pink colour, and I just took little dots in all over. And then I'm going to go to my drawer and I'm going to grab out a couple of packets of Spiegelwoman Scraps sequins. I was previously on the design team for Spiegelwoman Scraps. So yeah, lots of lovely sequins in my stash. So I decided to use a few of those, and a couple of these other butterflies as well. I was going to have just the one, and then I decided that no, I wanted 3. So what I do with butterflies is I put a little foam pad underneath each wing, and then a little bit of glue down the centre, and it makes the wings pop up, and it makes it look really nice in 3D. So I just put 2 more of those butterflies on, and this one's going to go up near the other one, up near that top corner. And like I say, then I come back in with some glossy accents and I stick a load of lovely little sequins just to add a little bit of sparkle. And that's pretty much it for my layout today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the process video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That would be fantastic. Like I say, this cut file is not how it necessarily appears in the shop. Like I say, I removed the outer contour line just to make it a little bit different and use it as a negative cut file. Yeah, I'm so happy with this. Absolutely adore how it turned out. And if you keep watching at the end of the video, you will see lots of close-ups of this layout, and I will link the cut file and the shop cut to you down in the description box below. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.